Hello, welcome to the more of the movie wall, everyone. How we doing? This is all the movies we saw in. Uh, what month is it? April. April. Let's put some up. I'm Steven it. Black Bag and Novocaine we kind of did last month, but I just forgot to put the posters up. I just don't think I had them when I started recording, but I got them after the fact. Anyway, so this month we started off by watching the Minecraft movie. You did not vibe with this movie. Memes aside, I know this was kind of like a bonding experience, having a packed like cinema and all being in on the joke, right? I did not have this experience. It was just like a normal theater experience, 10, 15, 20 people. So I didn't really have like no chicken jockey or flint and steel or water bucket release or people ODing in the cinema. I don't know if anyone saw that clip, but whoa, I hope that's not true. So maybe I just missed out because this movie was a hard one to get through. Like just as a movie, like strip all the memes and internet culture aside, it was every character was just there to relate to someone, like a target demographic. The CG's fine, like there's nothing like particularly wrong with it. What they get away with in this movie, say crap and Jason Momoa 69s and piglins get stabbed and die. And I can feel myself being that cynical old man, this isn't what I would have made a Minecraft movie about. I don't think a Minecraft movie would have worked in any other way than what we got, and what we got was exactly what I was expecting. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think this movie was going to be cinema. Like, there was no other expectation I had other than this was going to be a movie that kids would love. And that's exactly it. A couple rows behind me and my partner there, we were watching the film, and a villager pops up on screen. Little girl, probably like, it sounds like she was 6 or 7, right? She just whispers to her mom and goes, "That's a villager." And she's super excited. You can just hear it in the way like they're speaking. And yeah. That's what this movie's about. It's about the kids getting hyped up. Kids movies make billions of dollars. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, I don't know. This movie's like a 3. If you have kids, or if you have nieces and nephews, this is probably the movie to take them to see. I really want to watch the version that kind of floating around with the unfinished CGI. That might be the ironic fun that I'm looking for, but not the film as it is. It's just not for me. Didn't vibe with it. Maybe 1 or 2 good jokes, but that's about it. All right, next one. Okay, another couple round of films. Did them in a bit of a marathon. Amateur, Death of Unicorn, and I also watched Dogman. Let me know in the comments which one you thought I vibe with the most. And let's get into it. Amateur. I can't pin the issues I have with this movie. This movie is either too long or too short. That one right there. It could have popped off as a miniseries. All the performances are solid. I'm shocked on how little John Barenthal's in this film, but I'm also shocked on how little John Barenthal is in any of his films. Anytime he's in a trailer now, I'm just like, oh, so you're going to be in there for like 10, 15 minutes. And he is. He's in this film for like 2 scenes, and he's like third billing. I'm like, that's dumb. So I'm going to be started on the flippin' trailers. The modern day trailers suck. They just suck. This film is not what the trailers lead you in with. It doesn't lie to you in terms of the story it's trying to tell. The pacing of it isn't reflective of how the film's paced, if that makes sense. Don't lie to me in a trailer. It's meant to give me the product. Anyway, that's not the point. The first act takes so long. It takes so long to get to. And like to set things up. The core movie is fun. Like the concept is good. Rami Malek has this like Weasley aura about it. I enjoy this movie more than I expected. Give it a watch at least once. People get isekai'd. Just a fair warning, your first 30 minutes are quite slow. Look, it's like a 7. It's like a 6 or a 7. Don't go into expecting a masterpiece, but it's a fun time. Okay, so next we had Death of a Unicorn. A24 comedy, alien spoof horror. Dad and daughter hit a unicorn, and then they have to deal with the angry unicorn parents, right? That's it. 1 ticket, please. I'm in. I was not a fan after watching the film. Like, I'm glad I watched the film, but I've just never hated an entire cast of characters more in a movie. And like, I hated all of them, but the dad is just the worst one. He just hates his child, and I would have been fine if that was his character. But he keep pretending to care until completely ditching her the moment he can, and he just gets this undeserved redemption by the end. It's just dumb. Jenna Ortega plays the daughter, and man, she just gives big Lisa Simpson vibes. You know, like she's right, but the way she's doing it is so condescending, and it makes everyone just hate her. She has this like one piece of evidence, the tapestries, and she just won't let it go. Like they're an important part of the plot, sure, but she just like shows them off at any time she's on screen. Anyway, Will Poulter, you know, he can do no wrong. He's a great guy. He's the only like fun character on screen, but there's no difference, right? There's no difference. He's still like quite an annoying character. All the characters are pretty annoying. The other unicorn also has this like weird alien homage, like the tech that detects the unicorns, the close-up shots, the poster. No, not this poster, the other poster of like the unicorn and General Ortega, like, you know, face to face. It's like, yeah, it's weird. It's got this weird alien homage to it. Like, look, the movie's fine. Maybe I'm crashing out, but it gets like a 3 out of 10, maybe a 4. By the end, it fails to be a horror, and it fails to be like a comedy. It just falls into like this horror slasher vibe by the end of it. I'm just like, I just zone out. Might be good with like the right people, but the vibe was just not there for this one. I don't know. Yeah, it's maybe like a 3, maybe a 4. It's fine. And then lastly, I saw Dogman, and god damn it, Dogman has no right to be this heartfelt. It's so funny, and it's so weirdly emotional. This Dogman does in fact have that dog in him. I'm not going to spoil the ending here, but the moral is like 100% not what I was expecting this film to be. You know, the humor is spot on, and it's so like quick and snappy. Even if the joke doesn't land, sometimes they don't. Either repeat it a couple times more until like 180's into loving it, or they move past it quick enough to the next one that it feels like the movie's flying by. You go from human-dog hybrids to Pacific Rim, like mech-style fighting in no time. This movie just hits, right? It had some of us like almost in tears. It's a very like weirdly personal story the movie tries to tell as well. Honestly, it's like a 9 out of 10. Like, I did not expect to like it as much as I did. I am showing my bias for some animated films. I know I've got Flow and I've got Looney Tunes ranked quite high on these movie wall lists. I'm not gonna say too much more. The humor's great. You know, it's not a particularly long film, so it just kind of just hits. You know, didn't expect to crash out for this one. Oh, man. Nah. Okay, the wall's looking pretty full now. So we did another little marathon. We did 4 during the day, during like one of the last days of April. And we started off with Accountant 2. This one I'm going to crash out a little bit. I do apologize. The Accountant 2, but let's just start with like a quick review of the first one, right? For people who didn't see the movie that came out like fucking 8 years ago or some shit. Like, trust me, it'll be important. Accountant 1, the quick synopsis is like Ben Affleck plays a character who has autism and OCD, right? And he leads a mysterious life as an adult. You know, he works with shady people doing accountant work. Double crosses the bad guys. He's like this weird like Robin Hood scenario. John Barenthal plays his brother. Who's a hitman, right? And they're pretty like distant and, you know, whatever. Plot of the first one is they're kind of leading very separate lives, and then they end up crossing paths, and then they end up kind of half being friends by the end, right? It's fine. Right, the first one's kind of mid. It has a lot of issues. The first film, it has like this weird pacing issue. It does a lot of flashbacks to moments that feel like inconsequential. Could have been 30 minutes shorter, yada, yada, yada. Very mid movie, right? The Accountant one, very mid. Don't know why we're getting a very, very late sequel, in my opinion. I don't know about the hype for Accountant before Accountant 2 came out. So you would think the sequel would just be like another mid, you know, action film, whatever, action thriller. No, they completely fucking rewrite everything about this movie, and instead of being an action thriller, I guess Accountant Squared, or my other working title, Accountant 2, The Big Audit, is almost like an action comedy. I'm just gonna list off some of the stuff that happens in this movie. The plot is completely irrelevant. Off the bat, this is just some of the parts that happen in this movie, and I'm just like, what the fuck? So in the first 15 minutes, Ben Affleck, you know, Christian Wolf, the guy who has severe autism and OCD, he decides to hack a speed dating website and rig all the matches so he is desirable, right? But because he's so socially awkward, he spouts like red-pilled shit at these women. No joke, the one girl goes up and, I'm 45 years old and I'm looking to have kids. And then Ben Affleck character just goes, ooh, yikes. And I'm like, and that's just like what happens in the film. And I'm like, I understand you're meant to be kind of awkward and whatever, but it's just like that comes across as like almost red pill coded, and it's just really stupid. There is a kind of a school for people on the spectrum, and he sponsors them with like all the dirty accountant money that he does, right? Anyway, that happens in the first one too. That's like not a new plot. Anyway, the kids are trained hackers, and they hack a bunch of military drones. That's something that happens in this film. What the fuck? John Barenthal character is, honestly, it's the best thing about the sequel, because he's just completely just crazy. Not in like a psycho way, in like a he is just there for the vibes kind of way. There's a scene of him in his underwear complaining about a corgi. Same movie. Ben Affleck starts square dancing, for no joke, 5 minutes until a fight breaks out, and John Barenthal jumps at them in a hard cut like this. And then they throw them out the window. And it's just like, oh man, what the fuck? The last thing that I want to crash out about, right, is the bad guy's big plan. It is so dumb. It's just dumping a bunch of dirt on a bunch of Mexican kids. That is the big plan. I'm not kidding. This film is so far removed from what the original it was. And to be honest, that's okay. I actually don't mind it. I actually had a great time. Don't get me wrong. This film's not good, but it's also fun. Like, I had way more fun in this movie than I did with the first one. This film is a testament that people will go see a film if it's familiar to them, even if you completely butcher the thing. Because I feel like this movie is actually making some good money, and I'm kind of mad about it, but I'm also kind of not mad about it, because this film is absolute nonsense. Like, my issues I had with The Working Man last month was that was money laundering. I don't understand why people watch that one. This one, I'm like, it's actually not that bad. I actually don't think it's that bad. It's still mid. It's still mid. It's not good. You know, if the first one, I can rank the first one, it's like a 3. This one's like a 4, maybe a 5. It's a fun time, but you have to watch both of them together to see how far disconnected they are. And that's where this movie's good. Anyway, I didn't want to talk about The Accountant 2 for that long, but I just had to talk about Accountant 2 because it is just the most far removed sequel that I've ever seen, ever. Period. Slay. Now we've actually onto a good film for the month, you know, probably one of the better films for the year. I'm gonna call that early. We got Sinners. Like, I know people all over the internet are like, yeah, again, just glazing this film. I'm no different. This movie is fucking awesome. Again, my issue is the trailers. The trailers are honestly, this trailer just wasn't very good. It's not even like in a spoiler scenario for this movie. It's just the trailers. This trailer was maybe overplayed, or maybe this movie was delayed a lot, but this trailer was just kind of everywhere, and I knew more about it than I probably wanted to before I saw it. Not the point. This movie does rock. It's an original concept. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. It's like serious, but it's also campy, but it's also it balances that act of being consistent. Like, you know, sometimes in a drama where they make a comedy joke, it just completely undercuts it. And this one, it's just like, this is just like a perfect. Anyway, that's like a side tangent. 1930s, set in America, Project X mixed with vampires. The slow build is like perfect. Like the first like hour is just kind of like this, like getting everything sorted. And it's just like this nice slow build of characters and everything else. I'm just like, fuck yeah, nice. Seeing 2 Michael B. Jordans on the same screen was just the perfect amount of Michael B. Jordan. Again, the same thing with like Mickey 17 of last month. Having 2 characters on screen and not being like confused on which character I'm looking at was just really well done. It just works. I just love how when you get bit, you become a cunty little vampire. The gore is like the perfect amount. There's a lot of like great hard cuts just before something happens, and I'm just like, ooh, the vampires were low-key kind of sounding reasonable. I don't know. Maybe that's me. I don't want to say this is my number 1 film for the year, but it is going to be probably in like the big conversation I have at the end of the year. And this is like probably like a 9, maybe even a 10. Honestly, it's probably a 10. Like, it's fun. Give it one watch. It's got like big Dead by Dusk Till Dawn vibes. It just rocks, man. It's just a great time. Very fun. Go watch it. All right, and then I saw Until Dawn. This one sucked. Like, it just wasn't good. Off the top of the dome, right? I'm sorry to anyone named Clover. Like, as a person who's named Angel, that's me. Hello, like and subscribe, whatever. This is the only angle. Hello. Like, as someone who's got a pretty unique name, Clover is just not a good name. There's a scene in this movie where they're running through the forest and they're like, Clover, Clover, and I was just expecting a dog to walk out. There's no dogs in this film, but I was expecting a dog to walk out because it sounds like a dog's name. Not the point. I don't mean to Clover hate. Until Dawn, and it has no real ties to the game. Literally, they have probably like just like a basic horror script, and they went, do we have any franchise we could tie this to so people actually go see this film? Yes, we do. Slap Until Dawn on it, and then we're good. Like the gore is fun. There's a couple of fun kills. That's kind of all you want in these films, and it does do that. The big hook in this film of like this like repeating cycle, they just give up by like the last act, and they just go, you have a little montage, and let's wrap this up. Time's ticking. It's almost 90 minutes. I hardcore checked out for the last 30 minutes of this film. But again, it's all these horror films are only ever going to get like maybe a 6 at like their highest point. And for me, this one is like maybe like a 3, probably like a 2. When you have to keep your characters dying and dying all over again, it kind of ruins the stakes of these films. If you just up the camp, it probably could have been fine. Lastly, we watched Correspondent, right? It was kind of just like an extra one we threw in there at the end of the night. It's a biopic about an Australian journalist who's falsely held prisoner in an Egyptian prison from 2013 to 2015. It's an interesting story. I don't want to talk too much about like what the actual movie is itself, just because it's bigger than me, whatever. But all your actors are doing a fine job. Like I was invested. Some of the issues I had with this film was just like in this transitional shots. It happens more than once too, which is really annoying. The conversation starts as they're walking to the car, and then the conversation's happening while they're in the car, but they're just showing shots of him getting into the car. It's a little bit odd. It was a little bit odd. It was a little bit weird. It kind of just threw me for a loop for a little bit. But the movie, again, it's fine. I feel like this probably didn't need to be a cinema experience. Maybe it could have been like a SBS or like a free-to-air channel or something. It was just lacking that cinema level. I don't know. Again, it is a biopic. It is based on a true story. It's like a 5 out of 10. It's very middle of the road. If you like these movies, it's good. It's passable. I didn't really know much about it going in, and I feel very informed on how things. Obviously, it's a movie, so things get hyped up. Anyway, so this has been The Wall. Odd scaling of films, right? We Dogman, which is sitting quite high. You got Sinners, which was honestly an absolute fun time. Again, good films, but I had to trudge through some hard waters. So like and subscribe, please. I think next month we're cooking with a couple of bigger ones. We've got the Thunderbolts and Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible and a couple of those other big blockbuster ones coming out down the line. I think there's a couple good indie films. I think Friendship might be out either this month or quite soon. It's going to be a good time. I think next month might be a bit slower in films because we're leading up into like June, July, where all the big blockbusters come out. But we'll see how it stacks up next month. So anyway, guys, this has been The Wall. If you are new here, we do also Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So we've got these ones. So The Wall's once a month, and then some extra bits and bobs. I'm going to try and spice it up with a couple of extra things. I want to start streaming soon too. And then on Wednesdays we have video game stuff. So at the moment we're doing Everhood 2, and then on Fridays we're also doing some Stardew Valley stuff. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone. I want to say, and I'll catch you all next time. All right, bye-bye.